So Julie is doing this spectrum on if men think the same. And if you don't know what a spectrum is, it's basically where people actually stand on whether they agree, disagree, or strongly agree or strongly disagree. Hey, let's skip all this intro. We don't need to see all this.
I am worried about the size of my penis.
Again?
I'm making this joke again. I'm making this joke again. Look at my skin. Look at this. Do you think I am worried about that? I'm not.
What? What's your skin so hard to do anything? Some of us aren't Kobe, nigga. Some of us are goddamn Kyle Kuzma, nigga. We try our best.
He said Kyle Kuzma.
Strongly disagree. That's all.
Neutral.
Strongly. Nah. Let's not do that far. Somewhat agree. 3, 2, 1, go.
Dang.
Oh my god. This is a good question. I like this one.
The black dude?
It's just a normal thing to be worried about. Like when you're growing up, like you're like, am I normal? You know, like.
I hate this. I guess like when I was younger, I was like, whoa, is this normal? Is this not? But like, eventually I was like, nah, I'm fine. I feel like this whole conversation is just like bringing to my awareness how impressionable and like how much of our lives and our masculinity is defined by when we're kids. When everybody's like, oh, you gotta have a big dick, you gotta have a big dick. And all you see is like, only time you see a dick is on porn and it's like 14 inches, then it's like, well, mine doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
Then of course you're gonna like start thinking about it versus
14. Jesus.
Hey, women. Say them stars. They like it packed.
Next question.
A man should pay for the first date.
I say neutral because that's something that should be hashed out beforehand. Whether I'm going to pay for it, whether my girl's going to pay for it, because sometimes the girls want to do something nice for you. They want to be like, oh, hey babe, this time I'm gonna pay. And you know what? As much as they make you pay. So cut it.
First date.
Oh, first date. Oh, first date. Still neutral. Again, that's something that should be hashed out beforehand. Whether she wants to pay, because maybe it's like she wants to set a good impression for you. Of course, I think it goes both ways. I want to set a good impression for her. She wants to set one for me. And I think if she tries someone, that puts her in a better light than most. But again, like I said earlier, it should be hashed out beforehand.
I say neutral, and honestly, I think the person that asks the person out should pay for the date. Even though it's rare for a woman to do that, ask a man out, I think if she asks, she should pay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Our boy said
What's that? Agree? He said strongly disagree?
I like the way the old school ways work. They did work. We just messed it up.
So that's important to you to like take that leadership role to be
Tradition.
To be like the breadwinner.
I'm the caretaker of society. I don't even like saying it this way. Once you give the woman the power, then you just demasculated yourself.
I can understand it. I can get where he's going. I can understand the point he's making.
Shut up. No. I don't want to hear that shit at all. Talking about I'm demasculated because you paid for the dinner. Shut up. Oh my goodness.
I think I understand the sentiment he's going for. The more of I'm the caretaker, I'm the provider, all that. I'm a protector, and so if you want to take a girl on a date, you pay.
But what he was saying is that there will never be a situation in his eyes where she should be paying, because if she's paying, that makes him less of a man. That is exactly what he's saying.
I feel like the way we view genders is the way we it really affects how we go about this new way of dates, meeting people, because you can make a mistake and misgender someone and there's a lawsuit.
I think the issue is that women are actually becoming breadwinners in today's society, where back in the day that was not a thing. So women are coming up with this bravado where they can actually pitch in, pay for things, right? And there's guys out there who would let them because they're still stuck back in the old days where women want this equal viewship, and paying for things is somewhat equal viewship, and the good women know that, and they will offer to pay dates, and the ones who don't get that have the money but would rather not because they want their cake and want to eat it too. So it's odd to me that he wants to be stuck in this mindset. I do want to say there's a lot of women out there who would love a nigga like that. So do your thing, 21, do your thing.
I want to stick to what's made me happy, and my grandparents, my parents, I'm just gonna stick with it because it works. It's not perfect, but it works.
Are they allowed?
It worked for them. It won't work. It may not work for you.
Be a man, plain and simple.
I don't know. I think we're just getting in dangerous territory when we start talking about chivalry. At the end of the day, it's like, yo, baby, if you want to pay for this, like,
I'm not
there's
gonna
no
stop you.
hierarchy here. Like, you want
Exactly.
to pay for this. Maybe next time I'm like, I just got a check, so I'll pay for it.
Wasn't this the first meal though? You
Yeah,
said?
the first one.
You only get one chance to make a first impression.
What does it matter if it's a girl or a guy? It's 2019, and your logic shouldn't be, like, no disrespect, like, oh, because my grandpa did it and it worked for him, then it works for me. If she's not gonna date me that second time because I didn't pay for her, I think I dodged a bullet.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Right there.
I like that. I agree, my boy. Like, if a girl offers to pay the first date, I'm more likely to say, hey, let's go on another date. And I'll pay for that one, you know? I'm almost saying give them a chance to, like, also impress you at the same time. Like, they want to, that's what they're trying to do when women say they want to pay, you know?
If a
So
girl
that
offers
she
to
brings
pay-
something to the table.
If a girl offered to pay for the first date, I'm paying for the next three just out of respect, bro.
Exactly.
Like, no, she might have to put something on that finger, like, real talk.
I support the MeToo movement.
MeToo move, it's dangerous. It's
I don't know what it
so
is.
dangerous. From what I'm imagining it as, you know, like how, like, when the Bill Cosby incident happened and everyone was like, you know what, he did it to me too. You know, like how women are like always like scared to say stuff.
It's a social movement against sexual abuse, sexual harassment, rape culture, in which people publicize their experience of sexual abuse or sexual harassment.
Let me explain why I said it's dangerous. Like how effective it can be at like rooting out people like Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. It could also be very dangerous against people like when a group of women like do it to the wrong person, or they misuse it and they abuse that power on the wrong man.
Or straight up lie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When they literally just lie and do it to the wrong person, just out of spite or whatever reason. And I think this movement started in a nice place. It started out of like righteous for the victims, but now it's dangerous. I don't know if I support it or not. It's on a case by case basis for me.
3, 2, 1.
He's ready to move.
He doesn't know which way to move.
Don't move.
Be real. Be real.
Strong agree.
At first, when I saw it, you know, and talking to my friends, and family, a lot of people in the South, they're like, these women should have spoke up a long time ago. And then I had to like step aside and really process it for myself and be like, you know what? She didn't feel comfortable. And she wasn't in a society, in a place where it was acceptable for her to say anything about it. So now that they have the platform and the ability, I'm like, that's amazing. Speak your truth.
I can understand, like, I can get the whole being, oh, I was a little uncomfortable, like, right after it happened or a day after it happened. But then, like, they'll wait years, decade and a half, and then as soon as he's arrested for something else, oh, now it's time to speak. Like, instead of, like, waiting for, like, an opportune moment, almost create the opportune moment.
This is my personal opinion that some women think that when it's on a bigger case, on a bigger scale with people who have a lot of influence and power, it makes them a little worried to speak out because that said person has such much influence and power. It would make their life a lot worse than rather if they shut up. But there's always going to be that one person who wouldn't take that. So they will always be like, this guy did this to me. And when they do that, every woman who's ever felt that way and who's also experienced that, they're going to feel comfortable to speak out now because it's like they did it. So no, might as well get it out too.
Like, instead of waiting for that one woman that's like 10 years down the line, that guy, like, after a guy's done that to like a dozen other women, but like instead of waiting like 10 years down the line for like the 13th woman that he's done this to.
And another thing is too, if you wait that long, you're allowing that person to get away with doing it again and again because they did it to you and they got away with it perfectly fine. So what's to say they won't do it to somebody else because they had that mindset of, oh, I have so much power, so much influence, and the last girl didn't snitch on me, so I might as well do it again.
I think the mindset is that like you want to cut it before it becomes a Me Too movement. Be the only victim, not the first victim.
What do you tell a child who is accused of rape by a woman, has his whole life destroyed, and then people just go,
There's always going to be people that take advantage of it, or it's not going to be perfect. We're figuring it out as we go, but I think it's done more good than it's done bad. I think we get to acknowledge the bad, though. Like, I think,
of course.
That's why I'm doing like this thing is like for us to say like, oh, he did that to me, and all of a sudden now we've like vindicated that guy is like vilified. Like there is no chance of like him having a say in the conversation.
Trial by mob is not good. Like this mob mentality is bad. I agree with that, but I don't think that's exclusive to the MeToo movement.
But we're using it right now to say, oh, that person is bad. Oh, fuck that person. There's no further conversations being happening. If it's a movement to say, yes, okay, this hierarchy we've created of men and women, which is a result of the way men are expected to act, that women are expected to act.
No, like he is perfect. He is perfectly right in saying that. Like people use it as a weapon, and it's a trial by mob. And more often than not, if the mob says you're wrong regardless of the evidence.
Toxic masculinity is overblown.
I would say I disagree.
It depends on what they consider overblown. I think the Andrew Tates of the world is what I consider overblown. They're hitting a mainstream appeal. Like he is literally making money, like money off that. Like the Andrews, the Sneakos and stuff, they are like, you swipe on TikTok, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a Top G clip or a Sneako clip. They are extremes. And I just gotta say, they got influence. And when they got influence, they got little 12-year-old, 13-year-olds, even older guys who are more impressionable. They start following this Top G mentality, and masculine is starting to spread at a rapid rate because of these people. And I don't say it's completely overblown because people have sense. People actually have sense, but it's getting there.
I disagree because, like as you said, these guys are the extremes. Those extremes are minorities. They're just the few vocal ones. What I'm trying to say is that it's not, as widespread. This mentality isn't as widespread as people are. Like the Sneakos and Andrew Tates, they are the minority. They aren't. While they are loud and they have some influence, they will not have so much. I don't think they'll have so much influences to like affect the everyday person.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, what?
Go.
Quality.
Overblown. Wait, what? Oh. Overblown.
Bro, strongly disagree. Hold on, man.
Use a different word.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the exact right word.
Yeah, I think I just somewhat agree that it's blown out of proportion because I think what happens with social media is a group of people coin a term and now we're all painted by it.
Like we are not in like a post, I don't know, like rape culture world, like women are being catcalled every day. And so like men are still, I think, seen or experienced as like a predatory presence to women. So like that's why I just don't think it's like overblown. I think it's new.
If we were good men, there wouldn't be feminists, they wouldn't be attacking us, they wouldn't be hating us. You have a lot of guys who don't want to commit to marriage. You have a lot of guys who catcall. So yes, men have become toxic. And once again, I have to be consistent with all my beliefs and all my morals. I'm very traditional.
I see what you're saying, but the way you're framing it, like this word moral is kind of
We don't know what that is anymore, though. That's
well,
the
it's like it
problem.
sounds like you're saying like it's men's job to be like the moral compass of society.
That's exactly what he thinks. Yeah.
It's wild though. He genuinely believes that men are like more morally stable than women.
No, not that. You know, like how we're all, like traditional people are like men act as like almost like a front line, as like they act as the protector, the provider, all that general stuff.
He's not saying that they have a better moral stability. He's saying that it is our job. It is kind of our birthright
to correct it if it goes off path. Kind of.
Not even that. Just to determine what that moral compass is in general, and then once they determine what that moral standard is, then it's their job to enforce it and make sure people are staying along those lines.
Society sets the standard, men enforce it. That's kind of that's traditionalism.
I would even say men set this moral standard and they police it. That's the way I think he's saying it.
Sounds like you're saying like it's men's job to be like the moral compass of society.
It is.
No. I think it's everyone's job.
It's everybody's, but men, if men want to coin themselves as the leaders, you have to hold up to the good and the bad.
That's part of the problem, though. Like that's what I think toxic masculinity, or it's putting too much pressure on yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very obvious that we're grappling with like the history and the damage of like what a world completely run by men does to us. That's why I think we're talking about toxic masculinity.
Hold on there, partner. Don't pause. Go back. I don't want to do that. Bro said like men cause all the damage. I mean, don't get me wrong. Men throughout history have done terrible, undescribable, unspeakable, completely atrocious things. Women have certainly done their damage to this world, and both. I would say it's. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yeah.
I think he's saying we are suffering now from a world of men who want to control too much in a world where women are getting more freedom. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really resonated when he said, like, men overworking themselves. I genuinely think that there are some of these things that women can most definitely do better than us, and that they should definitely be in the leadership role for that. And I think that there's some things that men do better. And I think that just overall, men should learn to take a step back a little and let women, step up there sometimes.
I am comfortable showing my emotions.
To beat a dead horse, I'm pretty good with showing my emotions. How about you?
I agree. I
Strongly
show.
agree.
I don't say strongly agree because I don't show all my emotions. Though.
Go.
All right, for real.
It's been like harped upon me for years that like showing my emotions were bad. And like me trying not to be gay, I'm like, no, like I don't want to show these emotions because I'm not gay. I can't be gay. Like I'm not supposed to be gay. Like the church tells me, my dad tells me, my mom tells me, everybody's telling me I'm not supposed to be gay. So like just understanding that at 25, now 26, like I'm over here like, okay, like, oh, you're insecure. Okay, that's what that feels like. Oh, you're sad. That's what that feels like. I can now be aware of those things, but to show them to other people right now is like really hard for me.
Holy gaslight. He got gaslit by society as a whole.
His whole community did him dirty. Truly.
Damn, they can't live at home in peace. They can't go to church in peace. They can't probably
And that growing up like that, doing things like things like that to other people, that's how you end up with people who explode and like explode bad. And I mean like murder a man bad or rape a girl bad. That's the type of explosions that you don't want to happen. That's why you have to teach people about these emotions. That's why you have to be at least somewhat comfortable with. I can relate to this because I couldn't hide my emotions. I couldn't just put that stuff aside because it resulted in me getting upset over the smallest thing eventually, and then next thing you know, it's just stupid. So I just learned that, hey, just if you're upset, tell them you're upset. If you feel sad, go understand what it is and go be sad. You'll be better.
I do feel like I'm very verbally like about my emotions with my wife, but I wouldn't agree completely because I'm not like that with anyone else. I mean, I just filled a college class and I was crying about it to my wife, but no one else at school saw me cry, you know? I specifically texted my wife, make sure the kids are asleep by the time I come home, because I just knew I was gonna be like, as soon as I stepped through that threshold to my house, I was just gonna let go and I didn't want them to see that. But like the next day I sat down and I had that conversation with them, like, hey, I just wanna let you guys know, you know, your dad didn't pass this class, and they're like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, of course.
You just cry in front of your kids, man. I remember like seeing my dad cry for the first time when his mom died, and I remember like imprinting that in my mind as like, wow, you know, like my dad can be upset, and that was like an important thing to witness.
Men showing other men that it's important to have emotions is very important, because a lot of the times most people try to have this like poker face, this hard mentality, when in reality they're being eaten alive on the inside, and you would never know because society has trained them to never show it. And I think it's good that men are vulnerable around other men, because it allows them to truly be themselves, whether it be, you know, sad that their mom died, or just something simple as in like they were upset they didn't make the basketball team or something.
It's reality, emotion.
Yeah, it's real.
I was raised by two parents that I never ever saw cry. The effect that had on me was by the time one of them passed away very suddenly, I didn't really seem to be affected at all. So I've actually had to do a lot of therapy on that. This thing about masculinity not being able to show your emotions is very bad. It puts us backwards in society, and we need to be thinking about how to tap into our emotions in a healthy way together.
Okay.
I'm curious what old white bros, what on traditionalist thinks. I'm curious what he thinks.
You know, if you think about it, you don't really need to show it.
You know, 1% of the world, we don't have to show our emotions. These women don't need to know how we truly feel.
As protectors, you're not allowed to show your emotions. You better shut up and cry in the shower.
If you're sick, don't go to the doctor. Be a man.
Take that shit on the chin. I caught COVID. I didn't go to the doctor once. I just stood outside and I just breathed. They say you can't breathe. You just not try hard enough. Just breathe. People in the wheelchair need to really stand up for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to get it together. They need to be that top G. You know what? And if you want to be a top G, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of content that we coming out with. And if you want to see another video, go ahead and click on this where we talk about what we talking about. But no, for real though, we do have a video right here, part 1 of our video discussing hookup culture. If you want to see that, make sure to check it out. But anyways, that has been your boys over here at Afterthought, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.